I'm an award-winning filmmaker, screenwriter, director, producer, and actor, just like the whole triple threat.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the strategy that made you like $62,000 because we all want to hear it.
30,000 total. 30. It was $32,000.
Do you think that you can, make money in forex trading while you're on maternity leave?
Absolutely.
Shema, welcome to our interview.
Yay. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm so excited to hear about your story. Before we start, tell us a little bit about your background.
Ooh, I have a huge background. Where do I start? So, I'm a wife, a mother of three. Yes, I have a 16-year-old, a 5-year-old, and those are two boys. And then my little princess, she's a 3-year-old, which she rides my back. But I'm here in the States. I'm in California. I was born in Houston, Texas, raised in Los Angeles, California. I am currently a going on 4-year trader. I started day trading and swing trading back in March 2020. It was pretty much at the start of the pandemic, before we knew there was a lockdown, before we knew anything. I started trading back then. What else? Before I get into details, what else? I have a background in film. I'm an award-winning filmmaker, screenwriter, director, producer, and actor, just like the whole triple threat. And also I have 2 degrees. I have a degree in associates in fashion design and marketing, and also a bachelor's of science in organizational communications. My corporate background is in human resources and quality assurance. So yeah, I have an extensive background, but today I am a trader.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, hearing all this, you are a superwoman, right?
Yes.
I can't believe. Yeah, how could you manage everything like? And you look so young, to be honest.
Thank you. Honestly, it is a juggle. It is a juggle. It takes a lot of tenacity. It takes a lot of determination, right? It takes a lot of focus, right? I don't sleep a lot, but I feel like at my age, I'm 38. I love my age, and no shame, I love my age. My birthday's March.
Definitely, you don't look like 38.
I thank you so much. I literally, I try my best to, stay with my workouts. I was consistent for a minute, and then I'll fall off and get back on it, so, try my best to eat right. Right. But it's mainly just that focus of, this is the years of working really hard. I can rest when it's time to really, really retire, right? When I'm in my 80s, I can relax, right? Right now, well, technically, I retired in my early 30s, to be honest. Always told myself I'm retired like 28, and I feel like I did. I was able to leave the corporate world and things like that, so it's a lot in my life, but absolutely. I just feel like this is the grind. This is my years where I need to grind. And then when I'm like in 45 and I'm a, multi-millionaire, then I can travel, then I can relax, but right now, let's do it all. Do whatever I can while I'm as, energetic as possible. So.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the beginning of your trading, because you just mentioned that you started in 2020. What made you, jump into trading?
April 4th. That's what I was going to say. Do April 8th. I had her April 4th. And it was in March. And the company just announced that they were, stuff was happening with the COVID and everything. No one knew what was going on. So they were trying to gear to understand if we were going to go remote or if they were going to continue keeping us in the office. And I was like, well, you guys, I'm about to leave because I'm about to have my daughter, right? And so I gave them my 2-week notice, and I was like, so what am I going to do with my free time? I had some money saved, and instantly, like a light bulb, it was like the stock market. And I was like, oh yeah, I could get into the stock market. I didn't know anything about trading though at the time. My thoughts of the market, right, was, buy something and hold it and make some money off of it. But not knowing anything else, not knowing when to sell it, not knowing anything, just let me buy some stocks. That's all I thought, the smallest basic thing you can think of. And so I took $300 out of my savings account, and on Cash App, because I noticed on Cash App, there were stocks available to buy. I bought three different stocks. I put $100 in one in $100 in Hertz, $100 in like American Airlines, and $100 in like, I think it was General Electric. It was just like,
Just
long-standing
like
companies.
random.
Random, they're long-standing companies. This is good. I had no idea that the market had crashed, right? It was March 2020. So the market had just crashed. Companies were going bankrupt. I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything. By June of that year, the company had already called me back to start working and everything back in like April, like maybe 3 weeks after I had my daughter. They were like, we're full remote. You can come to work. I was like, okay. I wasn't doing anything. I didn't do anything else with the stocks. By June, I looked at my phone and I was up $300 on that Hertz that I had bought. So I was in profit, $300, right? I was like, I knew it. I picked long-standing companies like this. I know what I'm doing. And it started falling.
It's so easy, right?
Oh, it's so easy. Anybody can do it. What they say, it's the commercial. It's so easy. A caveman can do it, right? It started falling. I may have got out of the stock with $90 profit. And that's when I knew, okay, I need to learn how to actually do this because I want to really make money. And that wasn't my idea of making money, watching it like go away.
Yeah. And how did you from buy and hold strategy in like investing, how did you get into trading?
And so that was the reason, right? So when I got onto the journey of like, okay, let me learn this, that's when I ran into the difference between trading and investing. Because technically, I didn't even know there was a difference because I didn't know anything about trading. I didn't know that you can like buy and then sell, right? Like enter and exit. No idea. For some reason, just I guess my small brain, not understanding anything about it at the time, was understanding I could buy it and hold. That's all as far as investing. And so at that moment, again, that's when I thought, okay, I need to actually learn this. And that's when I started my journey of actually becoming a day trader. And I ended up, I was all over the place. I learned the penny stocks. I learned about OTC markets. So that I was trading penny stocks from that year, maybe I'll say from June to about the next year till March, because I ended up taking $1,900 and turning it into 30,000 in less than 4 months. And that was swing trading.
So
penny
stock, like swing trading penny stocks. Wow.
Yeah, swing trading, a little bit of day trading. It was amazing. It was a journey. It was hard. It was moments of, making the money and losing it, right? So it was a moment where I took that I think I uploaded about 1,500 into my account, right? And then I took that to 2,000, and then I took it to 5,000, and then it fell back down to like 25, fell back down to the 19, and then from 19 in the end of October, by the end of December, I was at 6,000, like $6,200, something like that. And then the next month it doubled. Then the next month it doubled. What it was a mixture of things. It was the swing trading. It was a couple day trades in between there, right? Like it was certain strategies. I would buy on a Friday in OTC. I would buy on a Friday, and then Monday it gaps up and I sell and I'm out, right? So it was like, finding little strategies that worked at the time. But then also, it was the year where the stimulus was being pumped into the market, right? There was a lot of stimulus package. So there's a lot of different, I guess, fundamental factors that actually helped with that at that time. It wasn't necessarily but you have to have a strategy still. For whatever you're doing, you need some kind of strategy. And that strategy worked for like those 4 months, I think 3 to 4 months. And then my March, it was a whole nother story. March 2021, it was a whole nother picture. But I decided to become a day trader and swing trader at the same time versus, again, investing. I realized investing takes too long. I need more of a faster return on my investment. And that's why I got into trading.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the strategy that made you like $62,000. Because when I hear it,
30,000 total. It was $32,000 from 1,900. So basically, was that what we would do was as far as, because I ended up joining a group by that December. When I took the 1,900 to 5,000, it was me day trading a little bit with, again, buying certain stocks on a Friday, right? I will buy, and this is OTC. So this isn't even NASDAQ. This is like the market that's beneath NASDAQ, right? So this is less than a penny. So if you're getting in something that's 0.005 and, or 0.005, it was like, we used to call them trips. So triple threes. Yeah. We're getting in at 0.005 and it runs up to like 0.002. Like you're over 100% of your money, right? So that's how it was happening. Like I say we, because me and my husband at the time, we were both trading it, and it was just like clockwork. We took a boot camp course from Tim Sykes, and everybody talk mess about him, but he had a boot camp course that we covered where, it just went over the basics of just trading in general. My husband did the 30 days. I did like 15 days because he started talking about shorting. And at the time I didn't short stocks. So I didn't, sell and then buy again, however you want to look at it. I didn't short. I only bought. I only went long at a time. That's how I started at first. And it was literally buying from a momentum trading, the volume. We would look for volume. We would look for something that has ran up maybe 30 to 50% in a day. And you can kind of ride the wave, right? So we would get in at a certain level and then allow it over a course of a days to like go to a certain point, and then we just exit out the trade, and usually we were hitting like 100%. We were making over 100% in these trades because again, in the OTC market, these are less than penny stocks. So again, you're getting in at even 0.002. And if it goes to 0.004, you're 100%. Right. So it was like the mentality.
But usually they are pretty volatile, right? So
very volatile.
Didn't always go up, so they can
they can go down just as fast. Well. Absolutely. That's why at a time I went from the 1,000 to 1,500 to 2,000 to 5,000. It was like in 2 days from 5,000 to 25 to 19. And I was like, whoa, what did I just do? Right. And then you have to readjust. Everything is like readjusting, like reevaluating, like seeing what's working and what isn't working anymore. Like right now in gold, I have to like adjust my strategy to a smaller time frame because right now the longer trades aren't holding any longer. Like my 1 hour, 4 hour isn't holding. So it's like I have to go to a smaller time frame, have smaller targets, you know what I mean? So, and being able to catch that before it's too late, right? Before you blow your account. In this, realizing like, okay, the market has shifted. I need to shift and adapt as well. So yeah, that's what we're doing.
Have you ever, wiped out your account as well?
Yes, absolutely. When I first started, so in the prop firm industry, for sure, it was like a whirlwind of a difference. This was 2020. I started September 2022 in the FX markets. And when I got my first 50K account, I was like, whoo, I can do whatever I want. The leverage was insane. My mind was still under the idea of stocks where, there's a PDT rule where you have to have at least $25,000 in your account to, go in and out of trades. Otherwise you're capped at like, I forget the rule, but it's like you're capped at like 3 trades within a 5-day period, right? And you have to stay over the 25,000. So in my mind, when I got to the funded firms over here with the FX, I had no idea that rule didn't exist. So I was thinking, I had to at least have a $50,000 account. I could, if I got a 25,000, I thought if it go beneath it, my account would be gone, right? Or I couldn't trade more than 3 times. I'm telling you, I was so green when I got to FX. I knew nothing. I didn't know what a pip was. I knew nothing. And I just knew how to trade. That's it, and I took that skill and just, expanded it. But I absolutely blew, oh my God, those first 4 months, at least 10, 12 accounts. I was like blowing through accounts, but learning. Okay. Each time I blew an account, I learned something from it. Each time I got pissed at myself, I learned something from it. I was journaling. I started, it was funded firms really, really, really helped me zone in and like really become more disciplined, more focused on what I'm doing. My strategy has become stronger. Certain things like that is what I do give credit to, having these certain parameters. I know not all funded firms are great for traders, right? In our opinion, it's like we're so limited to some of the things, but I just like to always look at the good in most of the things. And what I see with some of these firms, for me, it's helped me become a much stronger trader, by being able to have certain parameters where I don't cross, right? And it makes me go this way. And that's why I've been able to pass so many challenges, get to withdrawals, you know what I mean? Like I've done this now within a year. I actually passed my first challenge after 4 months. I started September 2022, and my first challenge I passed was January 2023. So it was like, it took me about 4 months to pass my first challenge. And I was like, yes, and it was a $25,000 account. Okay. And I lost it, of course, like within the next week or so, but it's because I didn't have a strategy in place for when I got funded, right? It's like each step, you just kind of take the data, the information that you've found out from what you've done so far. And then you keep growing, right? You keep growing. And so that's how now I'm here again. Now I have multiple, withdrawals. I have multiple funded accounts.
So how many accounts do you have right now?
I'm currently funded with $100,000. I'm a $100,000 funded account trader now at this moment. My goal was $200,000, so I'm working on that. I have, but total, and that's out of 2 accounts. Those are 2 funded accounts. Outside of the other accounts, I have maybe 2 or 3 more accounts that I'm working on at the same time. So yes, 2 or 3 other accounts. So, and those would push me over the $200,000 mark. So, I'm working on that right now. So it's, it's a juggle, and then the market's shifting. It's the end of the year. It's a lot of stuff going on, but, I love it. I'm staying diligent. I'm staying focused, and I'm going to just keep trading. You know what I mean? I tell my traders that all the time, keep trading.
Yeah. Tell me, what do you think is the most difficult part to pass the challenge?
The most difficult part? It's maybe a twofold. I think it's understanding yourself. I think it's really understanding your limitations, right? Your own personal parameters. Because you usually only blow an account when you over leverage, to be honest. Your sizing is just technically too big. If you have a solid strategy, if your strategy is good, you can pass a challenge. But you have to be strict on yourself. You have to be disciplined again with your size. You can't be in the mindset of let me make money. Let me, let me make this money. It has to be, what's the next best trade? What's the next best setup? And that's how I actually dig myself out of drawdown. It's what's the next best setup? Let me lower my size. Let me slow down. Let me take these smaller gains. Okay, today is only $100. Today is only $200. Okay, fine. You have to be okay with that. And I'm actually right now have to shift back in that mode so I can pull myself out of drawdown on some of my accounts, right? But it's shifting back into that. I think it's the understanding of yourself. I really think that's the hardest part of a challenge and also understanding the challenge, understanding which company you're trading with so you know their rules, right? You have to understand their rules so that you can have parameters. And you for me, I have a whole formula, right? I kind of write down all the rules, and then, so say these are the rules, right? I actually go beneath that. So when I trade, I have my own rules inside of their rules. That way I never cross their rules. You know what I mean?
So what are those rules that you have?
It's a lot, but for the most part, it's I basically start with the daily drawdown and the max drawdown, right? I understand what for traders, right? Understand what the max drawdown is and what my daily drawdown is. So say if my daily drawdown is right now with a 50K account, my daily drawdown is 2,500, right? I make sure that when I'm trading, I'm losing less than that. Less than 50% of that. Let me not lose more than 1,000, right? And if I can be even more disciplined, $600, 600 to 650 is my max of losing per day. I went over that the last few days. Don't quote me, but those are my rules, right? So when I break my rules, then I limit myself. I lower my size, right? I limit myself from trading. I didn't trade today on that account. I don't get the reward of trading it because I broke my rule. Right. But I didn't go over the daily drawdown, and I didn't go over my personal daily drawdown. Right. So I have a max per trade, a max per day and a max per week. Right. And when you have these certain parameters, it allows you to not go past what the company's is. Right. Also work out the numbers where, okay, I can lose 10 trades or, 6-7 trades before I blow the account. Right. The goal is to know your strategy enough where that there's no way that you're going to lose 10 trades in a row. Right. So if you stay beneath that certain amount, if I'm losing less than 650 a day or a trade, eventually I'm going to get to a winning trade. You know what I mean? And more than likely my winning trade is going to cover all my losses. That's the other thing. Another rule is keeping our losses really small. Right. So I can go on and on, but yeah, I have a lot of rules that keep me, where I'm able to move forward in these challenges. I'm able to pass phase 1 and phase 2 fairly quickly and then get over to that funded account.
You mentioned that you are a full-time trader right now, so you have like 100K account.
Yeah.
How profitable are you?
Currently, right now, I'm 100K between two firms. So, like for traders, I'm a 50K account, and another firm I'm with 50K account. So can't trade them together. But I'm good. I'm in good profit. I'll say that. It's been I guess I don't throw numbers out there as far as like, I've made over 100,000 because I haven't yet. That is definitely the goal. But I've had a few payouts so far from my other firm, which has been amazing. Really nice payouts. And then
So tell us, because because honestly, I'm curious if you can actually make money like full-time trading, and because you mentioned that you are taking care of your children, right?
Yeah, and I'm married. It's not just me.
No, I'm not saying that it's just you, but it's just because I know there are so many.
Yeah, no, it's like a regular, for me, it's like a regular paycheck, right? So like the first payout was about $3,000, right? My first payout with another firm was $3,000, right? Then the next payout was $2,000, right? So it's like that. It's like I'm being consistent with my payouts. I haven't hit 25,000 yet, you know what I mean? But I don't look at it as a goal of hitting a certain amount. Right now, it's just making sure that I'm being consistent with my payouts, right? I'm planning on scaling one of those accounts, right? So that's the goal. That's where I am with, how I'm getting my payouts. So, and then also, like I said, this month has been a shift for me, because a lot of traders that I do know that make a lot of money in here, they say that they don't trade December. And for me, I wanted to understand why. So I'm trading during December, and now I'm seeing why. There's a lot of, we'll get a pop and a pullback. So nothing's really holding as long as it normally does, right? So December is giving me the data that I need for when next December comes, right? So I am still in a learning phase as far as, because again, this is like my first year in FX, it's my almost four years in trading overall. But I feel like I had to become a different trader when I came into this market. Because again, I had never traded any of the FX markets, 24 hours, you have access to the market. All of it is a psychology shift. All of it is a change for the trader themselves. And they have to realize, again, what works for them. And I had to give myself a parameters for the time that I trade. I trade pre-New York right now. So I'm trading from like 4:20 in the morning to about 6:20 a.m. my time every day, so that's Monday through Friday. I'm getting up for that time, right? On top of being a wife and a mother and right? So yeah, it's like and before I was working a job. I was working remote. I was doing the kids, being a wife, I was doing the whole thing until I finally, I put in my 2-week December 2021, I believe it was. So I've been full-time trading since December 2020. Well, January 2021, 2022. And then, that's when I came across.
So honestly, can you tell me your time schedule? Like managing family and be a full-time trader. So how do you jungle? Because I know I'm mother of 2, and I know how hard it is when you have 2 kids around.
Yes.
So it's very, very hard to get focused, right? So how can you manage everything? So what is your schedule?
Even with like, and I have a teenager too, right? So that's like a whole nother thing. But so it's just I have to put myself on a schedule. I try my best not to get back on the charts for like, Asian session and things like that. I have alerts. That's another great thing for a trader. If I have Trade View, so I throw on alerts, right? I actually have a paid version of the Trade View. I throw on alerts so that if, I need to be called back because there's a certain major, area of AOI, area of interest that I need to pay attention to, I'll have an alert that pops up, but if I really, really just want to stay away, I even turn off all my notifications. So that way I'm not even getting alerts, right? So I just set my own boundaries, as far as, and then even for my training session, like I said, it's literally, I have marked out 2 hours for me to trade. That's it, because I have to get my day started. You know what I mean? If there's a trade during that session, great. If there isn't, fine. You know what I mean? I don't allow it to make me feel like I need to make money. I have to absolutely make money. No. Is there a good trade available? Is it or isn't it? If there isn't a good trade available, then I just don't take the trade. I have to, and I'm even getting stronger with that as far as my parameters of like, here's my probably resistance and support, supply and demand zones. If we are in the middle of that, I'm not trading it. You know what I mean? If we're ranging, I'm not trading that. I like the bigger moves anyway. I'm just one of those traders. I like the bigger moves. I like breakout trades, right? I'll even sometimes, I'm very big on that though, I'll get in just before the breakout. I know some people like to break out, retest, and keep going. I'm one of those, I like that instant breakout. So I will take that risk, make sure my risk is, calculated, where I'll take that risk and take that breakout. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's just parameters and boundaries. That's what really helps me stay scheduled and, be able to juggle a family and trading.
Yeah. So how much time do you spend on trading and all the, preparation and follow up? So how much time per day do you spend on trading?
So that's just a part of my life. It's like a lifestyle, right? I will be listening to books while I'm doing laundry, folding clothes and cooking. I'm watching YouTube interviews of other traders while I'm cooking. My life is trading. It's technically, like they say, a lifestyle. On the weekends, I do a weekly outlook, right? I've missed it the past few weeks because my grandmother passed away like last week. So it's been a lot going on with the family. So thank you for that. She was in hospice for the last 2 months, here at the house with us, right? So she was 96, so she lived a wonderful, full life. But those are all psychological things, right? But what I'm able to do is I was usually doing a weekly outlook. So every weekend, either Friday or Saturday, I was doing a full rundown of gold. So I would know what my weekly is going to look like, right? I don't take the weekend for granted. I don't just be like, oh, time to rest. No, it's time to get to work. Now I'm not getting up, super early, but I would get up, I would go to the gym, and then work on my weekly outlook, right? I would look at the charts and, still have some family time and things like that. But I'm usually analyzing, right? I don't necessarily back test as much anymore because my strategy is strong. So I don't really have to back test. I like to forward test. I'll go to another session outside of my pre-New York session and, maybe do some work. But other than that, it's just a lifestyle. I listen to books on Audible. I say listen, I don't get to always read them because I have the kids, but I'm listening to books when I'm doing like household things or I'm driving long distances. I'll throw on a YouTube interview with other traders. You know what I mean? That's how I grow and advance. And then also mindset books, right? Or mindset, motivational speaking, right? On YouTube and stuff like that.
Maybe mention how your mindset switched over the time or since you started trading, because I already did a couple of interviews and it's always curious to hear how the trader's mind had changed.
It did, and it does, and it has to. It needs to change, because we first come in with the mindset of I'm gonna make a lot of money, right? Like I'm gonna make it fast too. Everybody thinks they're gonna come in here and make money fast, and sometimes we are lucky enough to make money quick in the beginning, and then you can get into a mindset. So I was reading about a few years ago now. I'm Trading in the Zone. Everybody started Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas, and he talks about this mindset of euphoria, where you win like we did in OTC, right? Win a lot of big money. And so you think your mind gets set in this zone of that's how it's going to be, right? And then the market can switch on you, but you don't know because you're in a mindset of euphoria, right? So when I made that 1900 to 30,000, I had a goal of 60,000 and I would quit my job because at the time I was making 55,000 a year, right? So I was like, okay, I'll quit my job when I make 60 because I covered that, right, for that year. And I hit 30,000 and then like March 3rd, I remember the dates because this is huge, right? March 3rd, I was down 3,000. And then March 4th, I was down another 3,000. I didn't exit completely because I was used to the market going up, pulling back, going up, pulling back, but it never like, I wasn't trading off trend lines at that time. Like now I use trend lines and stuff like that, but I wasn't trading any trend lines. So if I was, I would have known then and risk management, right? That this is falling more than what it should, than what it is usually done. And I would have exited, but I wasn't as focused on my strategy. Right at the time, I didn't have all the layers like I have now. Right. And so as far as my mindset, I think over time you grow and you develop more layers, right? You start seeing things differently and understanding things differently. You're able to, for me, what has worked for me, I've slowed down way more, right? It's a book called The Zen Trader. Absolutely love and recommend. Because it reminds you to detach from the outcome, right? So that you are just focused on the setup. You're focused on the trade only, right? If people ever listen to my videos on YouTube, I'm very calm when I'm trading. It's not like when like if it pops on CPI, I'm like, yes. It's never that. It's like, okay, because I already did the work. I knew that this is the direction that it should go in. And I just exit the trade, right? It's just like, okay, that was a good trade. Let's wait on the next good trade. That's it. But I wasn't always like this.
So how many trades per week do you do? You know?
On average, so on my record, it'll look like more than what it is because I scale in. So I can be taking one trade, but depending on the lot sizing, and that's also based on what the price action is giving me. Usually I'll do two lot size minimum, right? So, I mean, maximum, excuse me. I do a 2 lot size maximum because I've been capped now on some of these accounts. They lowered some of their leverage. So whatever the case, I'm either scaling in. So it looks like it's more than one trade, but that's literally one trade, right? So technically on average per day on my session, I'm doing 2 to 3 trades. And I try to keep it at like 2 trades. And because it's a one and done rule that we kind of go by, right? It's like one trade. If it's a winner, be done for the day, right? Like just let it go. If it's a loser, you can get one more shot at it, right? And if that's a winner, great. If it's a loser, done for the day. The only reason why I take that third shot is just sometimes it's just my bias is there and it's so stuck on what's going to happen. And I will say 8 out of 10 times it's correct. And so you only know this stuff from journaling though, right? You only know this stuff from your own personal data. That's why I say you make rules for yourself. I say you make rules for yourself so you can follow them religiously. Once you follow them religiously, you may outgrow those rules, and that's okay. That means that you've grown, right? And you can add other rules now to accompany who you are, who you've become as a trader, right? So all of it's about growing, but you do need parameters first, again, so you can hit the ceiling of that. Just like with trading, we're trying to hit that resistance and it finally breaks through. You know what I mean? That's what we do as traders, so I think I answered the question.
Yeah, absolutely. What about your husband? Because you mentioned that he's a trader as well, right? What does he think about you trading?
Well, so he's moved over into real estate now, but he plans on coming back to trading. I think he wants to jump into options, but he loves it. He's okay with it. He supports it because he knows that this is what I love to do. He knows that this is where, we actually technically both started in, and he knows how lucrative it can be. He absolutely, you know what I mean? So that's why we both are in other fields outside of the 9 to 5, right? Because it's like, it's endless, possibilities in trading and real estate and things like that, right? Outside of the traditional 9 to 5. Not that you can't make, good money during 9 to 5. Don't get me wrong, because you absolutely can. I'm an advocate for doing what you love, period. I just happen to find out that I absolutely love trading. Like It's something about it. Cause mind you, I was scared of the charts at first. Like I was scared of like the
We
lines and
all are.
yes, it's so massive. You don't, and again, in this industry, it's male dominant, right? So I'm going into rooms in these Twitter groups and Discord groups rather, and these different Facebook groups. I'm like a woman in there, not seeing too many other women. It's rare that I was running into other women in the market, right? So when I did, it was lovely. It was like, oh my God, it's another woman, because I can get into a Discord group and it's definitely maybe, 100 guys to every 3 women. You know what I'm saying? So
I know. I see the honestly, I see the statistics because when I look at, for traders, customers, they're like, I don't know, 90%, maybe more men. So yeah, there are only like a couple of women.
And that's why I like, okay, I can get in here and do the same thing. But I get, you know what? Yeah. Along my journey, I've gotten so much kudos from men along my journey. Most men that I've ran into, and not, just because I'm a woman, it's like, no, you're a good trader. You're a really good trader, Sheem. You know what I mean? So I'm really thankful for my journey. I have not ran into too many, scams and crazy people. Like it's been a really pleasant journey for me. And oh my God, it's just something that I am an advocate for. I'm not saying that, everybody can do it. No, you have to have a certain tenacity. You have to have a certain, like, I don't know, strength within yourself and determination to really do this, like, and that's just my personality, I think. Like, again, I'm an award-winning filmmaker. I like an independent filmmaker, right? I started in Hollywood and everything, but like when I went and branched out on my own, I had to do it myself. I'm reaching out to people, creating all my shot lists and stuff like that, hiring everybody, getting insurance, doing location scouting. I'm doing the whole 9, writing the script and everything. So that's just my personality. Like I'm one of those, I just don't give up easily. Like, and when I saw that I could make money out of this, right? That first time when I went from 19 to 30,000, even though I know all the parameters and everything was, the things were different, the factors that led to that, I knew, so what? Like, this is something that I can make good money in, right? And so now, even with having withdrawals, it's even more of like, you can do this. You know what I mean? Each time it's, you can do this. Because again, I'm not where I want to be yet. Okay. Eventually, yes, I'll be a multi-millionaire trader, right? I'm growing to that. I'm at my baby. I still feel like I'm at my baby stages. Other people are looking at me like, oh, you know what you're doing. I'm like, y'all, I got a long ways to go. You know what I mean? Like, I'm thankful for everything, but I just still know there's so much more. You know what I mean? So,
have you ever thought about going back to, acting? Because I know that how lonely it can be when you are just watching charts, right? Especially you seem to be so sociable.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm asking whether you have ever thought about, like,
Absolutely. Eventually,
I
will. Eventually, trading is supposed to fund like my films. Cause I again, as an independent filmmaker, like I need, funding to create films. Right. So yeah, that was the goal. Eventually, trading will fund it and that's a passion. I absolutely love creating. Right. I love it, love it, love it. So yeah, eventually I will. But right now, I don't know. I think cause I've always had this thing of helping others, right? When I first started in trading, I created this Facebook group. I mean, literally like maybe back in that June of that year, like June, July of that year, after, my stock popped and I started, I took like a small $40 course to learn. It was literally the basics of the stock market. It was by a guy named Chris Johnson. Very basic. I mean, just even giving me the idea, the difference between, that you could trade or you can invest, right? And, he covered like stocks and bonds and things like that. I learned about, dividend paying stocks and stuff like that. So I wanted everybody in the world that knew me, right? In my own world of Facebook, like, y'all got to get into this, do something. outside, you need to grow your money. That was my thing. Grow your income. You know what I mean? Like, let's not just make money from my 9 to 5 and just pay bills, right? I've always had a mentality of at least saving, right? At least saving it if you don't do anything else. But if your savings account isn't paying you more than like 1.0% or something, right? Like, or excuse me, 0.05, most of these are paying out. You're not really making anything on your money by saving it. You need a more higher yielding savings account, number one, if you're going to just save. Then number two, you need to put that money to work. Right. And so that's what I was an advocate for. And so as far as trading for me, I feel like there's still so much room for me to grow in here as well, as far as being an advocate. I kind of feel like I was telling some people, I feel like I'm like the Harriet Tubman of the trading, right? Like I want to take people to freedom through trading. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's really just showing people that it's possible. You know what I mean? Literally, if I could do it, you know what I mean?
I'm sure that we have like plenty of women watching this interview, especially the ones that are on maternity leave.
Yes.
And they just think, or they don't know what to do, or they think that trading is really, really hard. Let's come up with some step-by-step process, how to learn trading and how to become successful in trading while on maternity leave.
You know what? 6 steps. I had this ebook called 6 Steps to Investing in You. And that's really where it starts, is understanding that it is an investment in yourself. And you need to start with education. I think the number one step of all of this is education. Before you're throwing your money at anything, before you're trying to hop onto the charts, is educating yourself. Take the time, especially on maternity leave. You have all the time. I mean, it may seem like you don't because you have to be, nurturing for a baby. But if I was able to get back to work, my baby was like 3 weeks old and I was back on remote work.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Sometimes they called me and was like, hey, we want you to come back. I'm like, right now, I just had her, but it's about the education. I would really start with educating myself. And where do you start? YouTube University, the free YouTube University is where I would start. And then, from there, for me, like what happened with me was, I believe in like God, I believe in the universe. So for me, it was like, once I reached out to something, it came back to me, right? The more I basically researched and looked into, like with trading, I had to learn what an RSI was. I had to learn what a MACD was. What did I do? I went on Google and to YouTube and was like, what's an RSI? Investopedia.com. I mean, it's king in this world. People I don't even know if they still use it as much, but Investopedia.com, it has chart patterns. It has what anything is in trading. I mean, anything. The RSIs, MACDs. I don't even use the RSI anymore, but I'm saying in the beginning, I didn't know anything. So what did I do? I researched like crazy. And that's what really led me to where I am now. Again, I came across certain courses. You come across courses. Then yes, start investing in yourself, right? Do the education and then use some of that money set aside and invest in yourself. Find a good course, right? Find a good mentor, find a good community. A lot of people shy away from it because, I don't want to pay and I don't want to. Well, what can you get out of it? Maybe you pay for that 1 month and learn as much as you can from that Discord group and then let it go. Nobody says you have to stay with anything forever. You know what I mean? Like, I'm one of those, I have a motto. I embrace what resonates and I discard the rest. Right. So anything that I run into, any books that I read, any interviews that I listen to, any Discord groups that I've become a part of, I accept and embrace whatever resonates, and then I just discard the rest. You know what I mean? So it's just about education first. Research, and then invest in yourself, and then get on the charts. Do not be afraid of the charts. They're not afraid of you.
Do you think that you can, make money in Forex trading while you're on maternity leave?
Absolutely. And I'm saying, start with the smaller goals. Okay. And when I was teaching a few traders back in the day, a few women, I was teaching women, how to trade, mothers and wives and things like that. Start small. Don't always try to shoot for the home run. Don't shoot for like, I need to make $1,000 today. I need to make 500 today. No, see if you can make $5. Seriously, it sounds small, but see if you can make $5. And I'm saying you will know once you are losing that money, right? You will understand it will hit differently when you go to lose that money. In Forex, I think there's so much money to be made. It is $1 trillion industry, right? So much money to be made, but you just have to be on the right side of it. Also, losses are a part of it. It just is. We're human, right? Like some of us we are actually trading against AI at this point in time. You know what I mean? We're trading against bots and things like that. So you have to be okay with your risk. The main thing is risk management. That is what I didn't learn when I had made that, 1,900 to 30,000. I was not taught risk management. No one told me like, that's the biggest thing you need to learn. Nobody told me that. You know what I mean? I wish I had someone tell me, pay attention to your risk. Of course, everybody know you want to hold your money, you want to save your money, but it's more about capital, perseverance, right? You want to hold on to your capital. Okay. But you don't want to be scared to trade. That's the other thing. So how do you hold on to your money, but not be scared to do that? Well, you have to practice, right? You have to make sure that your risk management is okay. Your risk is okay with you. Okay. Today I'm going to risk 200 to make 600. You have to be okay with that. Okay. If you lose it, you're done for the day and then go on and wait for the next trade. Or if you just see the solid setup, don't be afraid to take the next solid setup, but don't go past what your daily loss is. Don't lose more than what you're willing to lose that day. But it takes keen discipline to really stick to that. Right? It's easier said.
Absolutely.
It's way easier said than done, but it's all in repetition. If you do it over and over and over and following those rules, just like when we go to the gym, right? We have to build our muscles. Like the muscles don't just appear after one set. They do reps and they do months and they do years of building their body up. It's the same with trading. A lot of people think you can get in here and like, oh, let me make some money in a day. It's going to take some time. I'm not saying it's going to take years for everybody, but you can make money. You can still make money like with working out. Okay. Within the first 30 days or so, you're going to see some difference. You know what I mean? That's the same with trading. You're going to see some difference. You can pull some money, you can make some money in the market. Again, my first challenge, or not my first challenge, but I passed my first challenge 4 months after I started in FX. So if I can do it, that means other people can do it as well. You know what I mean? So for sure, women that are on maternity leave right now, just educate yourself. And I personally do believe that you can make it in trading. You just have to have that focus. You have to actually want to do it. Find your purpose. Why are you doing this? Besides making money, everybody wants to make money. What's your core purpose though? Why do you want to make money? That's how you can be doing this for a very long time, because you have more than that's like almost an edge for yourself. Is I'm doing this because blah, 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 right? Like for me, I do this because number one, I found out that I actually love it. I found out that I love it. Okay. I'm doing something I love. I'm able to be with my family. I'm able to spend 2 hours now. Back in the day, we were on the markets all the time. Don't get me wrong. It took watching the market, a lot of hands-on, again, still reading the books, but all the time. This was hours on hours a day. Now I'm able to relax a little bit, right? I can give the market a couple hours of my time in the daytime and then go on about my day, right? Like I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful I don't have to answer to anybody. These are all of my core reasons why I trade and why I love to do it. I'm able to just be free. And that's my ultimate goal, was being free to have my own time. I want to be able to be in control of my own time. And that's what I get with trading. I love it.
Oh, it's nice. Nicely said. Really beautiful. Last question. I know that you are for traders funded trader.
Yes.
What do you think about for traders?
You know what? I love it actually. So I'll say I haven't had any problems. Customer service has been really good. Everyone seems so friendly thus far. You know what I mean? I think the prices are good. Because some prices, when I first started, it was outrageous. I didn't even know anything about discounts, right? I was paying like full prices for stuff. Okay. Wow. Yeah. It was insane. But here with For Traders, the change had threw me off a little bit. The name change it threw me off a little bit. I thought I was, in this exclusive club at first. But I've always said it's so awkward because I've always said that I'm a trader for the traders. And so when you switch the name to For Traders, it was just like, it's okay. You got to taste it a little bit in your mouth, like, okay, I think I can rock with that.
So did you like more Billions Club or For Traders? What do you like?
I told the CEO, because he actually asked in Discord and I responded. He was like, you guys be honest. What do you think? And I was like, I'll be honest. I thought I was a part of an exclusive club with Billions Club. That's the reason why I actually got an account with you all. I always do my research. I was happy that you all had a Discord, because there's a lot of different things I look for when I'm looking for a funded firm. And I liked your prices. I liked your daily drawdown. I liked all your parameters and things like that. And I liked that the CEO was available on Twitter and things like that. I like that everything, you guys weren't hiding any. I didn't get any red flags. I didn't get any red flags, even though you guys were newer, right? I didn't get any red flags like that, besides the fact that you were new. And so it was just like, okay, I'm gonna give him a shot. And so, got in, and then, the CEO had asked, like, what's your honest opinion? I was like, well, I did kind of like Billions Club because I felt exclusive, but
it's like, very nice just to say that. Yeah.
Yeah. It reminds you of being a billionaire. You feel like, you're putting a word into the world that I'm a billionaire. Right.
You feel kind of special, right?
You feel extremely special. Like, like you're part of an exclusive club. And so I wanted to get funded. I was like, oh, got to get funded with them. Right. And so I am funded. I'm currently in drawdown on my withdrawal week. Okay. I was like, oh my God, how am I in drawdown on withdrawal week? My first withdrawal too. So now I have to dig myself out. But I have a strategy for when I'm in drawdown as well. And just understanding that it's just, a few lost trades, a few trades that I lost. Now it's just time to make some winning trades. But whatever the case, I like it here. I don't have any issues. My leverage a little low after being funded. That's the only thing too. But you learn and you grow, right? And I am going to look into the scale-in program and things like that, because sometimes with certain firms, I want to like scale with them and not just trade and don't care about it. Like I want to think about scaling a little bit. But I have an overall goal, of course, of making money with firms and opening my own personal account, just so I have that diversity, if you will. But yeah, I think I'm okay with you guys. I haven't had any issues. I've had issues with other firms, so that's why this means a lot. No, thank you for honestly being for the traders. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Thank you very much, Shema. I really appreciate your time. It was great talking to you.
Yay.
I wish you luck, not only in trading, but in your personal life as well.
Oh, thank you so much.
And talk to you next time.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
I look forward to letting you know when I cash out 10,000, and then we can talk next.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great one.
Bye.
Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
And guys, if you like our interview, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. See you next time. Bye.